Hey guys, it's Emily with another Grass River Microclass on this glorious sunny day. I'm going to try hard not to squint too much at the camera. So we are going to continue our theme of signs of spring that we've had rolling for the past couple weeks now. So today I want to talk to you guys about pussy willows and what exactly those little fuzzy things that emerge from them are in the springtime. Okay, so let's talk about the plant as a whole first. So what we refer to as pussy willows actually probably represent a couple different species of willows, all in the genus Salix, the most common of which is Salix discolor or discolor, which is sort of a shrubby little willow that grows in open wetlands, usually around cattails and red osier dogwood. It's very shade intolerant, hence the sun today. We're gonna be looking at some Salix discolor today. But we might refer to a couple other species of willow as pussy willow, given that they have the defining characteristic of those little fuzzy things early in the spring. So those little fuzzy things, those are actually the emerging flower bud. So the little silvery hairs are actually covering the developing flower inside the bud. The silvery hairs are acting like a little fur coat for the developing flowers in there. They trap heat from the sun and promote the development of pollen in male flowers and ovules in the female flowers. And you might be wondering, what? Male flowers and female flowers? Yes. Willows as a whole, including pussy willows, are what's called dioecious. So that means that each plant is individually male or female, meaning that all of the flowers on one shrub they'll either be all male or they'll be all female. And so the flowers only contain male or female parts. The flowers look pretty similar. They're what's called catkins, so they're those kind of like long, pendular sort of flowers. Birches, aspens, and alders also have catkins. So you can think of them like that. So that's what the flowers will look like when the reproductive parts actually start to emerge out of their little fur coats in a couple weeks here. So we talked about the fact that those fur coats are there in order to keep the developing flowers warm because those flower buds break so early in the springtime. You might be wondering, why do they even bother to emerge that early? The whole fur coat thing could be totally avoided if they just waited a couple weeks, right? And that all has to do with the fact that they are taking advantage of a time of the year where there is not a lot of competition for pollinators among other plants, right? Almost no other plants are putting flowers forth this early in the springtime. And so the pussy willows are maximizing the likelihood that a pollinator will visit their flower because, as you can imagine, those pollinators are really hungry for pollen and nectar. So their pollinators include everything from bumblebees to butterflies, ants and flies. And yeah, it's a really important source of, it's a really early source of bee forage. So really ecologically important flowers. And it's not just important for bees, but also some birds like to use the little silver hairs on the pussy willows as material to line their nests, especially hummingbirds, and that you can imagine that would be super soft. And then also pussy willows are the host plant for some of our native butterflies, including mourning cloaks, which you might see. They usually emerge in April, and they're one of the earliest butterflies that you'll see in the year because they actually overwinter as adults. And then also viceroys, which are sort of those monarch mimicking butterflies. They look very similar to monarchs. I should say that pussy willows also can be pollinated by wind. The pollen can be carried by wind to fertilize other flowers, but it's not nearly as efficient or likely that a flower will be pollinated by the wind, right? Because the wind just blows the pollen everywhere. Pollinators specifically go flower to flower. So, now you know what those little silver hairs are on pussy willows. Happy spring, you guys. I'm so excited. This is my favorite season. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.